Welcome to another episode of Rambling with Phil. Today I'm going to give you a review of the 2019 Ford Fusion, in this case the SEL trim. This car has keyless remote, and in reality this keyless remote also does not require you to push any buttons to unlock the door. All you have to do is touch the handle. And it also has keyless entry this way. So the SEL model does have a leather interior, and this is the back seat. So here I am sitting in the back seat, something that I normally do when I'm doing my review, because I want to show people how much room is in the back. Now right now this seat here, the driver's seat, is pushed all the way back, because when you get out of the car, when you turn off the engine, it slides back to make it a little easier for the driver to get out of the car. But even with the seat all the way back, I still have plenty of room. And the back seat does have these vents, which makes it a little more comfortable for your back seat passengers. And the back seat actually gives you a nice view of the front dash, although it's a little bit nicer from the front. This car also does come with CarPlay, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So this car does have a mirror in the visor, so that's pretty handy if you want to, I don't know, look at yourself while you're driving. Probably not very safe. There's also a convenient place for your sunglasses, and of course your rear view mirror. Now this has an auto dimming feature, so that when people behind you who are using their high beams when they shouldn't be, the mirror will dim the lights for you so that you don't get blinded. Obviously there is another visor here. This car does also have a sunroof. One of the cool features, which a lot of cars have been starting to put in them, is the start button with a push button. It's pretty cool, although it has been something that's been done for quite a few years now. Now the only thing that's analog about this dash is the speedometer. Everything else is digital. So this is the screen that pops up when the car turns on. Right now we don't have a phone connected to it. This car has all the usual knobs for the radio. This car also comes with heated seats. And there are some convenient spaces for all your stuff. Let me move some of this junk out of the way. But it does come with two USB plug-in ports and also a charging port where you can plug in a convenient plug converter thing for your computer, for your laptop. This car does come equipped, like most new cars. I'm not going to say all because I don't know that they all do, but this does come equipped with power windows. There is the power mirrors, power adjusting mirrors, power door locks. This also allows you to set two settings to set the position of the driver's seat. Now, one of the things, or a few things, that is quite convenient on the left side of the instrument panel thingy, or instrument cluster, is the information display. I basically have it on fuel economy because I like to see just how good I'm doing on fuel. So we just kind of toggle these switches here, and we just kind of follow the arrows that well, you know, you just kind of follow the arrows and play around with it. But you know, there's some trip odometers, and since the last fill up, we've driven about I'd say 75% of this has been on the highway, but the rest of it has been in the city, so the gas mileage is not great. However, trip 2, which is our entire trip so far, has a fuel economy of 29.2 miles per gallon, so not too bad. Then you've got some display mode. There's a bunch of other stuff, you know, driver assist, a bunch of other fun stuff. As far as the lane keeping system, you got to be real careful about that. I have it turned off because with the intensity set at high, it pretty much tells you you're going to run into things all the time. So, you know, there's this driver alert system, which is kind of cool. It will tell you, it will actually give you a warning if it thinks you're falling asleep. And sometimes that's correct and sometimes it's not. The driver blind spot, not sure if there's any kind of warning inside the car, but I do know that there is a light that lights up on the mirror. I'm going to see if I can zoom into it. Kind of helps you to know that there's a car there when you're trying to, you know, change lanes. Now, as I mentioned, this car does have CarPlay. So, I'm going to take my iPhone, plug it in, and then, oops. Okay, I dropped my phone, but anyways. Alright, I gotta turn that music off right away. Oops. Okay, I have to turn the music off right away because I don't want to get nabbed for copyright infringement. But anyways. Alright, let's see. Okay. Sometimes you gotta hit this thing like twice. It's a display for your phone onto this big screen on the car. It's really handy. You know, you can use your phone as far as GPS and music. And on long trips, that's really helpful because you don't lose signal for your radio. You also know where you're going. Now, I think this car on its own also has GPS. Not really sure, but not using it because I don't need to, and it's a lot more convenient to do it this way. Plus, my phone gets charged as we're driving along. So on the right side, it does actually give of the instrument cluster. It does actually tell you what song is there. You can do everything from the steering wheel. Now, of course, this car does have, well, there's this thing here for your phone if you want to set it up. You can control the volume of your stereo this way. And this car does have, and yes, I'm still wearing Crocs, and this car does also have cruise control. I don't normally use that, but you know, some people do. There are some conveniences as far as the lighting goes. You know, there's the button to turn the lighting on. This is well, hey, turns on all the lights when you're inside. Now, this car does not have your traditional stick shift. It has a knob to control your shifting, you know, to put in from park to drive, etc., etc. So in order to do that, you have to put your foot on the brake and then you turn the knob. You want to go in reverse, you put it to R. And this car also has a rear camera. It also has sensors, parking sensors, so if you get too close to things, it will start beeping on you. So that's kind of a nice little feature, in case you're not paying attention. So you see this A just came on. I've got my foot on the brake now. It's probably not going to work because I haven't really driven anywhere yet. It probably knows I'm still in the driveway. But this car will shut itself off in traffic when you're sitting in traffic. It's like an auto start-stop feature. And what that will do is that will save gas. It's a fuel economy feature. If it's on a really hot day, when the engine turns off, you will notice that your cooling stops working. There is a little bit of a negative. You save on gas, but you might get hot if you're in stop-and-go traffic. There are two ways you can prevent the car from stopping, turning itself off. Don't put your foot on the brake very hard, and just enough to keep the car from moving, or there is this little button here. Push it down, and it shuts it off. So then you don't have to worry about it. As far as the glove box, it's got a healthy amount of storage, not too bad. You know, put my hand in there, see? Just to give you a little bit of a reference point. This car does have automatic headlights, and there is a button to open the trunk. Now the back seats do fold down. There's like this little thing here that you pull. Then you just pull it forward like that. And both sides do fold down. So that's pretty convenient. The trunk is pretty big. I'm actually sitting inside the trunk. So you can see there's actually enough room in here to fit a person. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, there's probably enough room in here to fit in one adult and one child. So there's plenty of room back here. And just in case you're wondering, if I did get stuck in there, I could pull this thing and get myself out. And there's a spare tire under the floor of the trunk. But there's plenty of space back here. So here is the obligatory shot of the engine compartment. Okay, so one thing that I did not know and was very surprised to find out was that this is actually powered by a 1.5 liter engine. A 4-cylinder. And just so you can see that I'm not lying, the very bottom number that says 1.5 tells you this is a 1.5 liter engine. Now it does have a turbo, so that does give it the extra power. I think possibly the turbo is down there, but don't quote me because I am not a mechanic. But to be quite honest, I'm actually quite happy with how this 4-cylinder engine has run. It has run with decent power, not crazy power, but decent. So if you want to lock the car, you basically come over here, make sure you have the key in your pocket, and it will lock the car. Or you can just do it the traditional way with a key. Having driven it for about a week now and driven it through up and down the West Virginia mountains, I've gotten to know the car fairly well. It has adequate power, not like a lot of power, and it's not short on power, but it has adequate power. So it's actually pretty good to drive. The suspension is okay. It's just stiff enough to give you a little bit of handling and soft enough for you not to feel every bump. So that's kind of good. The leather seats are nice, although you know, whether I have them or not doesn't really matter to me all that much. But it, you know, does make the car look a little bit nicer. CarPlay, I'm a really big fan of that. I really like that. Any car that I am going to get in the future, I would really, that's one thing I'm really gonna have to have. As far as everything else, the trunk's very big. You know, you can pretty much fit a person in there. The engine, surprisingly, it was a 1.5 liter, I believe, turbo, and it has 181 horsepower. Did not realize that this had a 4-cylinder in it. I really thought it was a V6, so that was quite a surprise, and I'm actually surprised at the kind of power and response that this actually has for a 4-cylinder engine. Mark that down as a surprise, a pleasant one. All in all, though, I'd say that, you know, this is actually a pretty good family car, in my opinion. Good family car if you're looking for something to drive 5 people around and actually go out of town for a little bit. You know, there's plenty of room for 5 people and also for their luggage, as long as you're not like a really heavy packer. So, you know, if you're light, actually a medium, I guess, packer, you know, you're going to do okay in this vehicle. Convenient features are, you know, kind of nice. They're convenient, not things that you have to have, but, you know, they're kind of nice. But all in all, I actually like this car. So I hope you enjoyed watching my review of the 2019 Ford Fusion. If you like this video, please hit like and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, also known as Rambling with Phil.